quoting a line from Manusmriti when we are talking about Indian women, which says, Nastri Swatantra Marhati, from Manusmriti. This has become a quote which describes Hinduism, Indian heritage, never gave freedom, never gave independence, and Indian women don't deserve freedom of expression. There was no hindrance, no obstacle, no pressure on a woman to express herself, even if it is in front of so many men, so many learned men. She was never discouraged from expressing herself. Shankaracharya's, the Shankara Vijaya, between him and his disciple Mandana Mishra, when there were debates, the person who decided who is right was Ubhaya Bharati. Ubhaya Bharati, if she is the mediator, if she is the judge for these two people who are great, what must have been her level of knowledge? This entire false propaganda of Indian women was not allowed to express, was not allowed to do anything, was not allowed to chase knowledge, is such a myth. Namaskara. We keep quoting a line from Manusmriti when we are talking about Indian women, which says, Nastri Swatantra Marhati, from Manusmriti. This has become a quote which describes, which makes you believe that Hinduism, Indian heritage, Indian history never gave freedom, never gave independence, never allowed women to express freely, and Indian women don't deserve freedom of expression. This is what Manusmriti says. And we have been believing that that's how our society was. From time immemorial, Indian women were suppressed. Indian women were not allowed to talk, were not allowed to say what they had in mind. This is what we have been taught. This is what the entire Western narrative has been. But if we dig deeper into this statement, into this sentiment, whether India really was very suppressive, our women were never allowed to express, we had no contribution to any of the things, we had no say. Is this true? If we dig deeper into our scriptures, there is this great understanding. When you read about it, when you hear about it, actually you feel very, very proud. If you are a woman, if you are a father, if you are a brother, and if you are connected to any woman, you feel so proud for being an Indian, because our heritage gave utmost importance, utmost freedom to a woman. If we go back to the Vedic references, we hear there were 27 Brahmavadins who contributed to Veda and Upanishad. We keep hearing the names of Gargi, Maitreyi, Apala, Sulabha, Romasha, Lopamudra, Vishwavara, Sikta, Ghosha, Vagrambini, and many other names. There were 27 Brahmavadins. Who are these Brahmavadins and how they were different from the ordinary, regular women like us? Brahmavadins were the women who were chasing knowledge. The Vedic society gave this choice to a woman, whether she wanted to chase knowledge or she wanted to settle down with Garhastya, or the household, being married, taking care of the home, kids, family. The choice was exclusively of the woman. That's why there was a term, Sadhyo Vadhu, which meant a woman who had chosen the household was Sadhyo Vadhu, and who decided to chase knowledge and go through whatever difficulties whatever discipline that demanded. They were called Brahmavadins. And Vedic society had so many of them who were in no way inferior or who were treated in no way lesser mortals. Women of Vedic society were in every which way, be it knowledge, be it battlefield, be it the fields where they did agriculture, were very much equal to the men folk of the society. They were respected, they were encouraged, they were given a choice to express themselves. In fact, the Vedic society was so great. There is a saying from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Atha ya icched duhita me pandita jayet. The statement roughly means that if I have a daughter, if I get a daughter, she should chase knowledge. There was no pressure to get married, to have kids. Woman was not only be a material. She was never seen, viewed in that way. A woman was always given a choice. And many women, as I mentioned, used that opportunity, and they have greatly contributed to the Jnana Parampara of India. There are specific references, examples. If one wants to know and know more about it, one particular incident is the debate between Gargi Vachaknavi and Yajnavalkya. It happens in the king, in front of King Janaka's courtroom. King Janaka used to have these discourses, debates about the knowledge. People who were learned, who were sages, who were pandits of that time, used to participate. One such incident had this very elaborate discussion about the knowledge of Brahma, about the knowledge of extraterrestrial things between Gargi, who was the daughter of Vachaknu, and Yajnavalkya. Why I am mentioning this particular incident is they never shied away from encouraging the women to participate. There was no hindrance, no obstacle, no pressure on a woman to express herself, even if it is in front of so many men, so many learned men. She was never discouraged from expressing herself. This is evident from another scripture. Shankaracharya's, the Shankara Vijaya, mentions it in so many times. Between him and his disciple Mandana Mishra, when there was argument, when there were debates, the person who decided who is right was Ubhaya Bharati. Ubhaya Bharati, if she is the mediator, if she is the judge for these two people who are great, who were like great knowledge enthusiasts, knowledge chasers, Shankara and Mandana Mishra, what must have been her level of knowledge? Two great people are accepting a third person who, as a woman, as a judge. Then just imagine what must be the levels of her knowledge, her studies and intellect. So, this entire false propaganda of Indian women was not allowed to express, was not allowed to do anything, was not allowed to chase knowledge, is such a myth. It's not just only the Brahmavadini or the knowledge, seeking knowledge. Women were encouraged to do everything, whatever they wanted to do. We have the reference of Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was the partner. She was the driver of the chariot which took Dasharatha on some war. Kaikeyi was the one who fought alongside with her husband. So that is a reference from Ramayana. Even in Vedic times, we have references where women had lots of valor. They fought with their husbands. They worked in the fields. Whatever men were doing, a woman, a Indian woman, was always his counterpart. She was allowed. She was encouraged to do every such thing. Coming to the modern history, we have the names of so many queens who ruled their kingdom. Even in British times, we are familiar with Jhansi Rani, we are familiar with Kitturu Channamma, Rani Abbakka. We have so many references who ruled their kingdoms with so much valor, so much bravery. When you're coming to the Bhakti movement, we have Meera, we have Akka Mahadevi. In every field, in every segment of life, Indian women had contribution. So ours was never a society which suppressed women. Ours was never a culture which felt women are only there as an idea of sex. It was not the idea. The Western idea of objectifying a woman, seeing woman as only a physical object who is there to satisfy a man's need, was never the way of Bharata to see a woman. We have completely forgotten that. We have completely forgotten our heritage. And we always think of Bharatiya women with the Western feministic ideology. We never need feminism because Bharata and culture, here the culture, it was never anti-women. So we never had this need to scream for the rights, to scream for equality, to raise a voice against men. Because our society always, it has given the equal importance, respect and freedom for a woman. Then if we ask, why this line? Why this notion that a woman, a child has to get married? A woman's place is at home. Why this thought came into Bharatiya society? It's because of the continuous attacks. It was a society which couldn't think, even if there is a war, it was dharma yuddha. Here we always followed the rules of the war. It was always according to the dharma. But when constant attacks on the land, on the culture, on women started happening, then out of desperation, out of helplessness, the society decided to protect its women. Over a period of time, over a long decades of the suppression, the snatching women, kidnapping them and abusing them in every way possible during wars, made Bharatiya society decide that our children, our girls are not safe. So it's better if they are at home, if they are married, if they are not allowed to go outside and pursue their dreams. So we have to understand that this suppression of women, what we are talking about or what we keep hearing, it is a result of a constant attack on the way we lived, on our cultural beliefs, on our life itself. It is the culmination, it is the result of a constant attack. It was never there in this land. So, post-independence, this entire narrative that Indian society has always been suppressive of women is a false narrative. It is like 1,000 times I'll tell the same lie, and I'll keep lying, people will start believing. That is what has happened. So, my request is, kindly, when you listen to these kind of things, when your own children ask these questions, please explain, please tell them that our society was never anti-women. And we all should be very proud of our heritage, which was the only society which gave women equal participation, equal contribution in every way possible. You don't see this anywhere else in the world, in any culture, in any country. Such is the great heritage of Bharat. And it's our responsibility to teach this, which is not being taught in our classrooms, to our kids, because it's a great heritage and it's our responsibility to protect it, to conserve it, to take it forward. With that note, I'll end this. Namaste.